doing this chapter combustion and flame. Today the chapter will be finished, and we'll be doing some questions at the later on. We'll be doing some questions from this chapter. Hope I'm properly audible to everyone, and my screen is also visible.
Yes.
Chukrika, how are you?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Okay. How your exam went, Chukrika? How was your exam?
Sir, it went well.
It was good. Today you had
Yes,
a
sir.
mathematics exam now.
Yes, sir.
And today is 10th of June, so thereby your science exam is on 12th of June, right?
Yes, sir. Day after tomorrow.
Okay. So extra classes have been scheduled for you today or not?
Sir, today I don't think so.
No?
No, sir.
Will you be available for extra class today?
Sir, I don't think so because I have French exam tomorrow.
Okay. By the way, the chapter, light chapter, you have done it well or not? You have read that chapter?
No, sir. I'm actually done with cell and coal and petroleum.
But not with
So,
light.
no, sir.
Okay, tomorrow if you will be available, do let me know. Okay, now?
Yes, sir. Tomorrow I'm available.
Okay, great then. All right, so let us start the class, guys. Already we are 3 or 4 minutes late in the class. So previously in the last class, we were learning about few activities. Here was this activity. In this activity, we concluded that innermost zone of a candle flame consists of unburnt wax papers. Hope all of you understood this activity. Okay, no doubts in that. Before we move further, there are a few questions I would like to know from you guys. Do tell me which zone of the candle is called the luminous zone?
Sir, from the
middle one.
Middle zone. Good. In which zone of the candle partial combustion takes place?
So the outermost.
No? Partial combustion.
The inner.
No, see. Like we learned two things. Before talking about the candle flame, we learned about flame that there are two types of flame. Blue flame and yellow flame. When fuel is burnt completely, thereby it gives a blue flame. And if fuel is not burning properly, if it is burning partially, then it gives a yellow flame. Na? Yes. So thereby, this yellow flame, it is because of partial combustion. Na? This middle zone, that is yellow color, yellow flame, is because of partial combustion. Then do tell me which zone is in which zone complete combustion is taking place?
So the outermost.
The uppermost.
Outermost, right now? That is the thing about it. Okay, then do tell me one more thing. Out of the three zone, which zone is hottest? Innermost, outermost, or middle zone?
Outermost.
The outermost.
Outermost is the hottest partner. That we will prove with an activity. We will learn about that in detail. Then which one will be the coldest zone?
The innermost.
So the
Innermost. What is the color of innermost zone?
Black.
Black, no? Very good. So we have learned about innermost zone. And today we will be learning about how the outermost zone is having maximum temperature, is the hottest right now. But before that, first of all, learn about the middle zone. Okay, na? About the middle zone, we learned that unburned carbon particles are found in the middle zone of the candle flame. Right now, how can you prove this? See, say you have taken a burning candle. You have taken a burning candle, and these are the flames. This is the yellow flame, and this is the blue flame, and inside this will be having the black flame. Activity. The activity we are doing is to show that the middle zone Okay, so this is here. At the middle zone of a candle flame consists of unburned carbon particles in it. That is our aim. Yes, Sundus, how are you? So that is our aim. Okay, na?
Good
Sundus,
evening.
right now we are learning. Yeah, good evening. We are continuing with what we left in the previous class. So we are trying to prove that the middle zone of this candle flame, that is the yellow flame, consists of unburned carbon particles. How can you prove this? See, simple thing is that you have lighted a candle. Now hold a clean glass plate. Take a clean glass plate like this. Hold it above this. That is a glass plate. You can hold it. It won't be safe to hold it with your hand. So you can hold it with a pair of tongs. Okay, na? You can hold it with a pair of tongs. Tong is a tool like this. Tong kind of looks like this. Okay, na? So taking the help of a tong, you have to hold this. Okay, so hold it using a pair of tong and introduce it to the middle zone. Don't hold it too above or don't hold it too close to the candle. Try to place it in the middle zone. Getting it now? Introduce this glass plate in the middle zone of the candle flame and hold it for a few seconds. Let us say that you hold it in the
Sir,
yes.
the glass will break, right?
So the glass
The
here
glass
will
will break.
see you if you hold it for a very significant amount of time. Let's say you hold it for 10 minutes or 10 minutes, then it will break. You are here required to hold it for let's say 10 to 15 seconds only. I'm not asking you to hold it for 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay,
Then
sir.
then now remove it. Remove the glass now. What you will observe now? You will observe that there will be a ring like a structure that would appear over it. There would be a black spot appearing over it. Getting it, guys? Like this.
Sir, if we light it with the same candle, it will catch fire.
If we light the same candle, I didn't get it what you're saying.
Sir, if we light that black ring, it will catch fire.
No, that will not catch fire. This black ring basically is unburned carbon particle. You know, at that moment, if you hit it, it is not going to catch fire. But if you collect lots of these unburned carbon particles, and then if you try to burn it, then it is going to catch fire. But if you are saying that at that moment you are going to burn it, then it is not going to burn. So here what we have concluded here, this blackish ring is produced due to the deposition of unburned carbon particles on it. Conclusion is that first of all you need to write observation in it. What we observe, the unburned carbon particles are deposited on the glass. So that is your observation. And what do we conclude from this? This basically shows that actually partial combustion is taking place in the middle zone, right now. So partial combustion of basically what is going to happen over here. We have learned that this candle upon burning produces a candle upon heating turns into wax vapors now, and those wax vapors are basically contains carbon particle in it also. So thereby in the middle zone we have learned that partial combustion of wax vapor is producing unburned carbon particles. The partial combustion of the wax vapor is producing unburned carbon particles in the middle zone, and that gets deposited over this glass structure that you see as a blackish ring. Yes, Khadija, how are you?
I'm
So,
good, sir.
you guys understood this or not? If anyone has a doubt in it, please do let me know. Yes? Alif, did you understood it, Sundars?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Middle zone. Middle zone. This shows that the partial combustion of wax vapors in the middle zone produces unburnt carbon particles. So let me quickly revise it for those of you who have joined late. We did this activity in order to show that the middle zone of candle flame consists of unburnt carbon particles. What we did, you simply take a candle, light this candle, and hold a glass plate near to the middle zone of this candle flame. Hold it for 10 to 15 seconds. We know, we have learned previously also, that when candle is burned, when wax is burnt, wax converts into wax vapor now, isn't it, guys? Wax turns into wax
Yes,
vapor.
sir.
And here in the middle zone, since it is not having access to enough amount of air, enough oxygen, thereby it does not burn completely. Partial wax vapor burns partially. Partial combustion of wax vapor takes place right now. So let's say if there is 100 gram of wax vapor, out of that 50 gram is burned, while 50 gram converts into carbon particle. Are you guys getting it
Yes, sir.
right now? So this 50-gram carbon particle,
Sir,
yes,
is fire is same to flame?
fire is,
Same to
please speak clearly, Alif, I can't hear you properly.
like flame is same as fire.
Flame is same as fire. See, whenever there will be a fire, flame will be observed. Whenever there will be a fire,
So we
you
can
get to see flame
also
also.
we can also call a candle flame candle fire.
Yeah, we call it candle flame, or we can call it as candle fire also. Like what we learned in the previous classes about fire, which we learned about fire in the previous classes. What did we learn about fire? How did we define fire, by the way? Yes.
It's combustion.
As a result of combustion, you get to see fire. Right now, as a result of combustion, you get to see fire. Right. Let's get back to what we were discussing. So let me first complete this. To say that there were 100 gram of wax vapors, out of that 50 gram only burnt completely, while 50 gram didn't burn, then it converted into carbon particles, unburnt carbon particles, right? And those unburnt carbon particles deposited over this glass plate when you brought it near to the middle zone of the candle flame. Getting it, guys? So that shows that middle zone consists of unburnt carbon particles. Okay, now hope you guys are getting it.
Yes, sir.
So this was the activity. Then you have one more activity to understand. So far, we learned about the innermost zone and the middle zone. Innermost zone and middle zone, about these two zones we have learned. What about the outermost zone? We know that outermost zone is hottest now, but how do you prove that? Yeah, again, light a candle. So you have lighted a candle. Our activity our activity aims to show that outermost zone of the candle is hottest, of the candle flame is hottest. So what you are going to do, you are going to take a long copper wire. Take a long copper wire and again hold it using a pair of tong. Right now, using a pair of tong, hold it. That is tong. That is your copper wire. Okay. So take a long copper wire and hold one end of this copper wire near to the just try to put it just inside the burning candle flame, so that it is in the outermost zone. Outermost zone, that is the blue zone. Now keep the copper wire in this position, like in, let me start over here. You have placed it in the outermost zone and keep it over here for about 30 seconds. Keep it over here for how much time? For 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
We will observe that the part of copper wire which is the outermost zone of the flame, it will become red hot. It will become red hot. So what does this tells? This tells us that the outermost non-luminous zone of this candle flame has highest temperature. Or in other words, the non-luminous zone of a flame is the hottest part of a flame. Are you guys getting it?
Yes, sir.
Same activity, like you can compare it in this manner also. You can at the same time, you can burn another candle. You can burn another candle and take another copper wire and put it in other zones. Let's say the second one you have put in the middle zone. You again take one more candle and in that one you put the copper wire in the innermost zone. So, and all of them you'd be holding for 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, and 30 seconds. Getting it, guys? And this one also you'd be holding for 30 seconds. In which one the copper wire will become red hot quickly?
So outermost. Sir, the outermost zone.
The outermost zone. Right now, if you were to hold it here also, it will not. It will take some time. It will take, let's say it might take 50 seconds, it might take 40 seconds, but this one in just 30 seconds, it will become red hot. So this was another activity aimed to show that the outermost zone is the hottest. To show that outermost zone of a candle flame is hottest. That is the conclusion. Hope all of you have understood it. If anyone
sir.
has any doubt in it, please do let me know. We have learned about flame. There are few topics left to be discussed, and then there this thing that you see, there are fuels like wood, coal, candle, and petroleum. These fuels will be majorly releasing the unburned carbon particles right now. So upon burning these fuels, thereby you will observe the yellow flame. Getting it? And these fine particles are actually dangerous pollutants for the environment that causes respiratory diseases such as asthma. Okay, now? So that is not good for the human health aspect. So let us now learn about what are the burning of how burning of fuels leads to harmful products and causes damage to health. Yeah. Yeah, I'm listening.
Sir, can I just come in 1 minute?
Okay, okay. But don't delay too much. So guys, now we would be learning about what are the harmful effects of burning of fuel. So burning of fuel produces too much of harmful products which will be polluting the air around us. So the increasing use of fuels has got harmful effects on the environment right now. So what are the harmful effects produced due to burning of fuel? For example, burning of fuel, moments ago we learned that burning of fuel like wood, coal, petroleum products like kerosene, petrol or diesel, they will be releasing unburned carbon particles in the air. And these fine particles are dangerous pollutants which can cause respiratory disease such as asthma. Getting it, guys? Then incomplete combustion of fuel. For example, if fuel is not burning completely, that will also produce a very poisonous gas which we call as, anyone knows, carbon monoxide. No,
Yes, sir.
getting it? So incomplete combustion of fuel produces gases like carbon monoxide. So that is another problem. Huh? Further burning of fossil fuel releases carbon dioxide also into the environment, and the increased percentage of carbon dioxide gas in the air is now causing global warming. How does global warming happen? Can anyone explain to me?
because of carbon
When
dioxide.
there's less trees, there will
Also,
be more carbon dioxide in the air, so it will cause the earth to warm up.
Yeah. Hold on for a minute. I have a call coming from the team. Just wait a minute. Okay, now. Meanwhile, you guys read this. Read the second. Read this one. Yeah. See, before we continue further, all of you are required to turn your cameras on in the class. Everyone is required. Otherwise, see, the team will be informing the parents. Just now, I received this info from the team. Okay, na? Sundus, Khadija, and Chakrika, all of you, turn your cameras on. So, carbon monoxide, it's a poisonous gas which is produced by incomplete combustion of fuels. If fuel is not burnt completely, and also it is dangerous to burn fuels like coal in closed room, because in closed room ventilation is poor in closed room, so thereby due to insufficient availability of air, fuel will not burn completely, thereby releasing toxic gases like carbon monoxide. It can kill the people sleeping in the room. The next day the person will not even be waking up. So carbon monoxide gas has so many harmful impacts. Right now, basically what, how does it basically work? Carbon monoxide, in short it is written as CO, capital C capital O. It binds with hemoglobin. It binds with hemoglobin. Hemoglobin, all of you know, it's a red pigment found in your blood. It's a pigment found in your blood now. Okay. See, I'm repeating this again. Everyone is required to turn your cameras on in the class. Otherwise, the team would be informing your parents regarding this. So this is coming from the team, not from my side. Also, I would also recommend that all of you should turn your cameras on in the class. Yeah, Sundus, Khadija, Shipika. Okay, Shipika.
I
Okay.
just came now, sir.
Okay.
I just came now.
Okay, no issues. Oh, yeah, Sundus. You're back. So what I was saying that carbon monoxide, this gas will bind with the hemoglobin found in your blood. What basically happens? Hemoglobin, this pigment, uh, it basically carries the oxygen now. The air that you are inhaling. Okay, okay, Khadija, I got it. Understand. What happens now? The oxygen that the air that we are inhaling. What happens? The blood capillaries takes those oxygen from your lungs now. The blood capillaries found in your alveoli uh, takes the oxygen from the lungs, and thereby those oxygen will bind with the hemoglobin. Hemoglobin, in short, it is written like this: capital H, small p. Hemoglobin is basically the red pigment found in your blood, and its major task is to transport oxygen. But although it has got affinity towards oxygen, it attracts oxygen, but it has got higher affinity towards gases like carbon monoxide. So thereby carbon monoxide will bind with hemoglobin and it will form carboxyhemoglobin. What does it form? Carboxyhemoglobin. And here in this case it forms oxyhemoglobin when oxygen is binds with it. Hope you guys are getting it, right?
Yes, sir.
So it will bind with it, thereby it will reduce the oxygen carrying capacity of the hemoglobin. So thereby your organs won't be getting sufficient amount of oxygen, right now. So the most common effects of carbon monoxide gas exposure is that the person would be suffering from headache, he will feel a little bit confused, or he will be suffering from dizziness due to inadequate supply of oxygen to different organs, particularly to the brain. If your brain does not get sufficient amount of air, you will suffer from dizziness. You will suffer from dizziness, or you will be developing headaches. Getting it now? So impact on human health. It will lead to conditions like dizziness, headache, or a state of confusion. The reason being that brain isn't getting sufficient supply of oxygen. Sufficient oxygen. Hope that is clear to everyone. Okay, now. Further, we know that burning of coal, petroleum, or diesel will be producing gases like sulfur dioxide, so gases like nitrogen dioxide, which will go into the air, and cause acid rain, which we have learned previously, isn't it, guys? See over here. So acid rain will also happen. Sulfur dioxide, this sulfur dioxide gas is a suffocating gas. It's a suffocating and corrosive gas. If someone accidentally inhales sulfur dioxide gas, the person will develop irritation in the nasal passage. The nasal passage will develop irritation. It's a very suffocating gas. Getting it now? What happens due to various industrial activities and domestic activities? Also, in some of the domestic activities, sulfur dioxide gas is released. It's a corrosive and suffocating gas, and it will damage the lungs of the person if they were to inhale it. That is one of the problem. Furthermore, whenever there will be precipitation, if there are lots of industrial areas in a region, so rainwater will react with these gases like sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxides, thereby converting into acid rain. Getting it, guys? Further, burning of fuels like petrol, burning of fuels like petrol releases gases like nitrogen dioxide into the air. Getting it? So that is also problematic. And acid rain, it will be harmful for the farmers in this way that it will be damaging their crops. It is harmful for the forest. It is even harmful for the aquatic animals. Many monuments, many buildings are destroyed due to acid rain. You have the most common example of Taj Mahal that is turning yellow right now. So that is the thing. Hope you guys have understood it so far. And global warming, I suppose all of you know that it is basically the rise in the average temperature of Earth's atmosphere due to release of carbon dioxide gas on combustion of fuel. And here, basically, the average temperature of Earth is increasing. So, tell me, what are the harmful impacts of global warming? What is happening due to global warming?
So
Floods.
the glaciers and the icebergs can melt and cause floods.
Yeah, basically, it's causing climate change right now. Forests will be drying up. Rainfall, because of less rainfall, forest will dry up. Another thing, as you say, that the polar ice caps would be melting, and it will lead to flooding of coastal areas, flooding of so many islands. So many islands would submerge underwater. Getting it, guys? So it will lead to climate change. Getting it? It will lead to climate change, and it will lead to climate changes like there will be frequent floods, forests would be drying up. Right now.
Uh,
Yes.
can you tell me one more? No, I accidentally leave.
We were discussing about this global warming. Okay. Now. So see,
Okay, sir.
these are the indicators of global warming. These are the indicators of global warming. Like for example, the signs that the world is going through global warming is like the humidity is increasing. Don't you observe that nowadays we observe that humidity is little bit increasing year after year. Temperature year after year it is increasing. Huh? Like this year temperature has broken all the records. Although this year the temperature has risen so much because of a natural phenomena called as El Nino. Okay, now how many of you have heard of this El Nino effect? Not have heard of it. You would be studying about it in geography probably. In geography, you would be studying about it. In class 11th standard, you would be studying about it.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, we in the there is so much technology, right? The we can suck the carbon dioxide of carbon dioxide in the ozone layer or atmospheric layer. We can suck
See,
out.
sucking the carbon dioxide is not a very viable option. We haven't such technologies as of now. What you can do, you can decrease the carbon footprint. I mean to say that you can reduce the carbon emission into the atmosphere. How you can do? You can simply do that by planting more trees. Uh, Also, you know that one should go back to the traditional methods earlier, how people used to keep their houses clean. Nowadays, there's a concept called as urban heat island. Urban heat island. How many of you have heard of it? Urban heat island. See, there are two places. For example, there's a village and there's a urban area. This is a village and this is a urban area. Urban and rural areas basically. So in urban areas, you are saying that you have concrete pavements, concrete buildings. There is only few plants and trees are there in the urban areas now. Water does not percolate into the ground. Huh? Water does not seeps into the ground because there is no soil in the urban area. You guys tell me, like if you are living in an urban area, how often do you see that they are open area where how often do you see that there's an area which is not covered with concrete? So there are concrete pavements in the urban areas right now. While in the come to the when we come to the village area, there we see that we have lots of greenery, mud houses, solid pavements are less. I mean to say that only thing that is made up of concrete in the villages you would see is the road. Roads are only metallic. Roads are only metals. Getting it? What I'm trying to say. So most of the rainwater will be seeping via the soil into the ground. Also, water table in the village is not that low. Water table in the village is not that low. After several feet, like up to 40, 50 feet, water is found, underground water is found in the village area. While in the urban areas, water table is very down. What I wanted to say is that this concept of urban heat island in the urban areas, what is happening? What is happening now? Like the sunlight is not being absorbed by the by due to the concrete infrastructures, solid pavements. Most of the sunlight is getting reflected from the urban infrastructures. While in the village areas, you get to see that you have greenery, you have water bodies there. So it is not acting like a reflecting surface. In total, if you try to understand this concept from a brief perspective. So in urban areas, also you get to see that we have installed air conditioners. So therefore, what is happening now? Lots of heat is generated in the urban areas. While when you happen to visit a village area, it will be comparatively colder. So thereby we learned about a concept called as urban heat island. Now the urban areas have become a heat island, where lots of heat are released from the urban areas. Even moments ago we were talking about indicators of a warming world, that the air temperature is increasing, temperature over the ocean is increasing, sea surface temperature is also increasing, sea level is rising due to the melting polar ice caps.
So,
Temperature over the land is also increasing. Snow cover and glacier cover is decreasing. Yeah, Chakrika.
so if the urban areas weren't made up of so much concrete and cement and all that, then even the urban areas would have also been much colder, like the villages.
See, let me tell you this interesting thing. There was a study done. A study was done on an urban area and the village. Basically, there was a study done in an urban area. Okay, now since this is the size of an urban area, and let us say that this much of urban area consists of lots of plants in it. It is filled with greenery. Let's say this is a park in an urban area, and over here you have got concrete buildings, roads, different infrastructures are there in this part of the urban area. What was observed, the temperature above the park would be like somewhere around 5 to 6 degrees Celsius less as compared to that of the remaining area where there were no greenery. Getting at what I'm trying to say? So this is an indicator. This study shows that an area where lots of greenery will be found, that area will have lesser temperature.
So,
That's why it is recommended. Also nowadays we have the concept of terrace farming. One should do terrace farming, plant trees at your terrace. Basically, you should be having like potted plants should be kept at the terrace. That has two advantages. One is that it will help in lowering the temperature of that area if every household were to do that. Furthermore, it will keep your house also a little bit cold, a little bit colder, right now. So that is the thing. Also, like over for the last 4 to 6 decades, everything that you have heard in the media from your government or from the like United Nations about the climate change. See, there has been lots of mean to say that we get to hear lots of things in the media right now, but also we see that billions of dollars are being invested. Lots of campaigns are going on, but how much of work has been done on the ground? If you were to look at, very small amount of work has been done on the ground. So climate change is not like it's an individual. I mean to say that uh, climate change is only possible if every individual were to take some steps right now. If every individual were to at least plant one tree, if everyone were to plant at least one tree, so that will, in a combined manner, that will create a huge difference. That's the thing. Okay, now.
sir, I have one more question.
Yes.
Sir, is it possible to reduce the threats of a global warming, completely reduce it?
Is it possible to reduce the impact of a global warming, you're saying?
Yes, sir.
See, yes, we can do that. Of course we can do that, but it will not happen all of a sudden. It will take some time, because the amount of damage which we have done, it will take time for the nature to heal. Like, first of all, what we need to do? First of all, you need to uh, cut down the carbon dioxide gas emission. You need to reduce the emission of carbon dioxide gas. One should stop burning fossil fuels unnecessarily. We need to shift towards um, cleaner fuels. We need
Sir,
to
driving
shift towards,
cars,
yes,
driving petrol cars.
yeah. One should shift towards use of CNG. One should be using CNG. Prefer that. Also, that nowadays we get to heard about electrical vehicles, but is it actually very environmental friendly? Huh?
No, sir.
Because like it has to be charged now.
Because it is
Yes, Alif?
Because it is conser not conser. It is taking the energy.
Yeah. Even electrical vehicles are not environment friendly right now. So because you see that although there is a dispute over whether it emits any gases or not, although it does not emit any gases, but you know that the car battery, what does it consist of? The car batteries are manufactured using lithium or nickel or cobalt, and these metals, the extraction of these metals itself a dangerous task. Furthermore, it poses so many risks to the environment also right now. So that is one of the problem with them. Okay. Further, you get to see that the electrical vehicles have to be charged. So there also we are producing electricity. So the most viable and the better option, the option we have is one should shift towards cleaner fuel. That is the first thing they should be doing. Furthermore, like in the urban areas now, we should be planting more and more trees. That is second thing. Furthermore, we get to see that as a result, due to global warming, habitat of different wildlife organisms are also being destroyed. Their habitat is also being destroyed. Like the rate at the way how we are hampering our environment, in the next 1 or 2 decades, so many species will become extinct. So many species will be becoming extinct. So thereby, there has to be various mitigation steps in order to reduce the impact of global warming. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Also, in the chapter, we have learned about fuels like CNG. In the previous chapter, also we learned about this compressed natural gas. And when compressed natural gas is burnt, it produces very less amount of harmful products. Okay, na? So CNG is a clean fuel, and we should be using this one. While the case of wood is such that wood has been, it has been used as a domestic and industrial fuel for centuries, and even today in many parts of rural India, in many parts of rural areas, people still use wood as a fuel. Why? Because it is having a low cost and it is easily available. But it has so many disadvantages. Now, burning of wood has so many disadvantages. Like it produces lot of smoke, which is harmful for the human health.
Sir, and it leads to deforestation.
Deforestation also very good. The first thing, as you said, deforestation very good. Furthermore, it releases lots of harmful smoke that is will be harming the human health, and this smoke will lead to
Sir, food
respiratory disease.
remaining.
Yes,
The waste will remain.
waste will be remaining here. Yeah, that is one of the thing. But right now we are talking about disadvantages of burning fuel. Uh, Waste, we can count that. We know that trees provide us with many useful substances. Like when trees are cut down to obtain wood for
Sir,
use. Yes,
gum and that honey, like
yeah,
that.
honey is obtained from honeybee, but latex is obtained from the tree. See, when you have cut down a tree in order to obtain wood from it, we have lost so many useful substances that could have been obtained from that tree. Huh? So that is one of the problem. Cutting of trees leads to deforestation also. But nowadays we get to see that now people are shifting towards coal and other fuels, shifting towards coal and other fuels like uh, liquefied
So,
petroleum gas. Yes,
but then using coal is also not a safer option, right?
it is not actually a safer option, but even in villages you get to see that now wood is being replaced by coal. But when we come to the urban areas, there fuels like LPG or CNG is serving a better domestic fuel right now.
Yes, sir.
So that is the thing. Okay, so the chapter has been finished. Let me give a quick recap of what are the things which we learned in this chapter. Okay, now. So in the chapter, First of all, we learned about combustion. We learned about combustion. We learned about combustion. That combustion is basically uh, in the combustion. Basically, what happens? We have learned that a substance would be reacting with oxygen, give off heat and light. We learned about combustion of magnesium, where magnesium oxide was produced. Magnesium oxide. What is the color of magnesium oxide? Yes, it is white in color and it is basic in nature. We learned about combustion of charcoal also. Charcoal, which is mainly carbon. And upon burning of charcoal, what is produced when charcoal is burned? Carbon dioxide gas is produced now, and heat and light is given off. Okay. Then do tell me which gas is a supporter of combustion?
Oxygen.
Oxygen. Okay. Then we also learned about combustible and non-combustible substances. Right now. Then we learned about what are the necessary conditions for combustion to take place. Like there has to be presence of a combustible substance, which we call a fuel. Or we learned about supporter of combustion, that is oxygen. Good. And one more thing,
Heat.
heat. No, heating the combustible substance up to its ignition temperature. We learned about all of that. Then we learned about matchstick, right now. Then we learned about calorific value also. We learned about calorific value of different fuels, and then we learned how do we control fire. In fire, there were a few things I wanted to discuss with you. Like for example, do tell me what are the ways to control fire. If you want to control fire, what do you need to do in order to do so? Yes.
There is three. Can I tell?
Yeah. Sure.
There is three ways. That is cut out the oxygen of
Yes.
near fire and put fire extinguisher, or if it is like fire in a wood or in a table wood, we can put water.
And put water. Okay. Okay. Do tell me this thing that out of kerosene and mustard oil, which one has a low ignition temperature?
Mustard.
Mustard oil, obviously. Okay. Do tell me this thing that when while we were learning about the fire extinguisher, while we were learning about this fire extinguisher, we learned that there are two types of fire extinguisher. In one, liquid carbon dioxide will be filled, but in some cases, this will release sodium bicarbonate and potassium bicarbonate on the fire. And when sodium bicarbonate and potassium bicarbonate it comes in contact with fire, then it releases carbon dioxide. So they work in that manner also. Keep that in mind. Okay, now. So if at home you have baking soda, and if there's a small fire, then it can be used to extinguish. Now explain like why if a fire is caused by electricity, it should not be extinguished by pouring water on it. Yes. Why if fire is caused by
Sir,
electricity?
can I tell?
Yeah, sure.
Because water is a good conductor of electricity.
Okay, then who will tell me how do you control fire if it is caused due to oil?
Oil is lighter than water, so the oil will float around the water.
No, no. See, that is why you should not be using water. But how are you going to extinguish the fire? Yes, who is gonna tell this? Gauri or Santosh? Yes, Santosh.
Sand.
Sand, or
Sand.
you can use sand or soil also. Right now, you can use sand or soil to extinguish the fire caused by it. Getting it done. So hope you guys are getting it. Okay. Also from the chapter, if anyone has a question, please do let me know. Yes.
Sir, sir, you told in the oil fire, if we put a brick of cement, if it will, sorry, the cement powder, right?
Yeah,
If you put cement powder in a fire, it will extinguish.
yeah, you can use that one also. Okay, now that can also be used. Okay. Okay. Furthermore, we are going to learn about. We are going to do some questions from this chapter. Uh, Before we do that, you guys tell me what is the unit of calorific value?
Kilojoule per
Kilojoule per
Kilojoule per
kilogram.
kilogram.
Kilojoule per kilogram. Yeah, good.
So you said that we can ask any doubts if you want, right? Is it from this chapter or
Yes.
you said we can ask any doubts if we have it? Is it from only this chapter?
Yeah, you can ask out from other chapters also. So the chapters finish, and
Sir,
from previous chapters also you can ask doubts. Yes.
sir,
Okay.
the hydrogen has the high calorific value, right?
Yeah.
Uh, if we fill the balloon with hydrogen gas, uh, hydrogen lighter, right? Is the balloon will explode, explode or catch fire?
Okay. If we fill the balloon with hydrogen gas, will the balloon explode or will it catch fire? That's what you're asking.
Yes, sir.
Basically, why like it? If you have filled the balloon with the hydrogen gas, since it is lighter, upon filling balloon with hydrogen gas, the balloon will basically what is going to happen? What we know, like the weight of the balloon will be like when you fill the balloon with a hydrogen gas, what happens? It will basically rise up. The balloon will start to rise up because hydrogen is a lighter gas and it tends to rise up. Lighter gases tends to rise up in the air, so the balloon will simply rise up. There's no question of exploding.
Sir,
If you fill too much of hydrogen gas in it, then it will explode.
no,
And
I was telling like fire explosion.
fire explosion, yeah, if you bring a burning candle or matchstick near to it, then it will explode. I mean to say, then it will explode, then it will
Okay,
catch
sir.
fire. So that is the thing. Okay, Chakrika, you had a question.
Yeah, he helium will catch fire.
Helium. Helium, I
Yes,
don't
sir.
think is combustible.
Okay,
Helium is also, it is, although it is a very light, it is a very light, and it also, if you fill helium in the balloon, then also balloon will rise up. But helium, although it is very light gas, but it does not burn, and it's a non-flammable substance. Okay, now keep that in mind. Okay, guys, answer this question. And why others have turned their cameras off? Which of the
sir.
following gas has
We
the
had
maximum
answering.
contribution?
We have.
In the chat box.
We had answer in chat box.
Yeah, in the chat box, answer it.
Sir,
Yes, that is correct, Khadija and Nandit. Yes, yes,
nothing,
Gauri.
sir.
Of course, the answer to this question
I'm
is
good.
simple. That is carbon dioxide. Yes, Chakrika, that is correct.
So, but it's saying like con.
Yeah, what is?
Okay, sir, I got the question wrong.
You got the question, no?
Didn't get the question, but
Okay, okay. No issues. Yeah, all of your answers are correct. Very good. These are some of the questions from the NCERT. We would be doing that question too. Um, most of them, I suppose, would be able to do. See, question number 11. This is a numerical question. Let us all of you do this together. So, in an experiment, 4.5 kilogram of fuel was completely burned, and the heat produced was measured to be 1,80,000 kilojoule. You have to calculate the calorific value. It's simple now. You all have learned about this. Calorific value. How do we find it? Simply, it is simply the amount of heat released upon mass of burnt fuel. Mass of fuel.
Sir,
Simply divided this. Yes,
can I tell answer?
in the chat box. All of you in the chat box.
Okay.
Simply you have to divide it. Do it quickly, guys.
Sir, is my answer is correct?
Let me check your answer. Yeah, your answer is correct, but you have written the unit also. Very good. Others also answer it quickly. Simply divide it. Yes, Santosh. Very good. That is correct. Alif and Santosh, your answers are correct. So, guys, that's it for today. Santosh and Alif, you guys can leave, and others who are left, quickly answer it. Yeah, Khadija, that is correct. But don't forget to write down the unit. You have to write down the unit also, Khadija.
So, okay, then I'm doing something.
Okay, Santosh.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, you're welcome. No, Gauri, that isn't correct.
I answered.
You remove the decimal, 10 will come in the numerator. Then divide this. See, 45 fours are 180. The answer is 40,000 now. 40,000 kilojoule per kilogram. All right now.
Yes, sir.
Chakrika, you got it now. And Gauri,
Yes, sir. I sent it to you.
you have sent. I think you have sent on the other ID, I believe. Oh, you have sent it. That is correct. Very good. Okay, so that's it
Yes.
for today.